So let's recap what we have. Inodes have metadata about your files. And that inode information is everything except the file name, because remember, file names just link to inodes. The file name could be anything, and you could have hard links, so that's multiple file names pointing to the same inode. The inode has the metadata, and it also knows where the content lives. It's not the content itself, it just points you to the content. In the case of a directory, that points you to a list of file names and inodes. In the case of a symlink, that content is the path that is the resolution of the symlink. In the case of a regular file, that's just data. That's just data you read. So when you cat the file, you get to see that stuff. So that is how that works. The reason I said it's confusing is because in my brain, the inode information was always the metadata. Simple as that. Inode was the metadata. When I started looking into it further, I realized that inodes aren't as well defined as I thought they were. I thought they'd be in the POSIX specification. They're not. There is something called the INO number, the file serial number. That's the unique number, the number that we see that I call the inode number. But POSIX doesn't specify inodes. The more I looked into it, it seems like inodes are actually the file system that has its own concept of inodes. So ext, xfs, zfs, they'll all have their own notions of it. In fact, zfs doesn't even have inodes. It has dnodes, which play the role of what an inode does, plus a little bit more. But the waters are muddied, because if you go in the ZFS source code, it references the word inode. If you grep for inode, it will come up. So if someone were to come up to me and say, Dave, if you stat the file, you get its inode information, I'd be like, yeah, I know what you mean. That's true. That's how I would think of it. But if someone were to also be like, well, I don't know if that's true. The inode is the on-disk representation of that data, and when you stat the file, you actually get a stat buffer, and that stat buffer is built up with information from the inode. I'm doing the nerd voice right now, but I mean, I could see myself saying this, not in a got you sort of a way, just in a, it's surprisingly complex. Inodes are surprisingly complex. They're deceptively simple, I think is a way of putting it better.